YouTube! Today I'm going to give you the long-awaited studio tour. I'm finally going to show you the really awesome art studio that I have in my backyard. Sadly, I have some pretty big news, for me at least, to share with you guys. We just found out the other day that there's a huge issue with the house we're living in. We're renting it out currently in Austin, and we have to move out as soon as possible, like the next week or two. So that's the main reason why I haven't been posting Inktober. I've been trying to draw, but I can't focus because I'm like stressing out about finding a place to live. We've been in Austin for almost 2.5 years now, and I like Austin a lot, but I've been really hating the heat here. You might be able to tell that I'm like sweating right now, and it's October. And we've been thinking about moving to another city for a while now. I'm not gonna say what area yet, although you can probably tell if you follow me on a couple of different social media websites. But we're not gonna be living in Austin anymore, and we have to move out by the end of October. I'm very sad about this because I really love this studio here in the backyard, and I'm gonna have to take everything out of here, and I have to give away most of my plants. And if you've seen my little plant room tour, I have over, I think, 40 houseplants. It's a lot. I'm gonna bring my favorite ones, but I have to give away a lot of them. I'm also really sad because I feel like I barely even settled into the studio. There were still a lot of things I wanted to do, like put up shelving in the blank walls and really make this place mine. I was planning on staying here for at least another year, probably a couple more years, but we have to move out for our health for the most part. So because this was such a unexpected event, we weren't planning on moving for years, we're not very prepared financially. So I'm actually having a sale on my store. We're trying to get rid of all of my extra inventory and make some extra money to help pay for the move. I do have a 20% off coupon right now. I will put all the information below, but if you've ever wanted to buy anything from my shop, this is probably the biggest sale I've had in a long time, and you might want to check it out. So I'm going to give you this studio tour as kind of a solemn memory of this place. I'm going to miss it so much, and hopefully the next house we find has something like this, or I can build my own eventually. But yeah, let's get started. So this is what my studio looks like from the outside. It's in our backyard. Out here I keep my cactuses and a bunch of my gardening equipment. It's all kind of messy right now because we have a family of raccoons living underneath my studio, so they keep rummaging through my things and throwing them all around the yard. It's ridiculous. But they're cute, it's okay. They also stole one of my cactuses. So excuse the mess, I was cleaning up, so there's a whole bunch of recycling here that I need to take out. But over here I store a bunch of my larger canvases and large papers and some boxes as well. Right here I keep my jug of water for painting and just a couple of random jars. These are some books I purchased recently. This really cool book by Sally Nixon, where she draws a whole bunch of like, it's like Where's Waldo but for adults, but I really love the artwork in it. Yeah, and then I got this Andrew Hem art book right here. I got this Andrew Hem art book. He's an amazing artist. If you don't already know him, you should be following him. I have a small easel, and I hang up some paintings here that aren't finished, just to keep them out of the way from any damage. Right here I have a light table that's LED that I just plug in right over here, and some extra art supplies for anyone who wants to visit and draw here. Here's some Steven's stuff because he was just drawing here last night. I have this really cool lamp from IKEA. I love it. And then right here I have this glass palette that I use for acrylic or oils. I haven't used acrylic in a while, so it's pretty clean. And this is my main drawing area. This is where I sit. This chair is just from Amazon, and there's Future. So right here I have a drawing board. I think it's from Michael's. And I always keep my most used art supplies within reach. So here I have Future's water bowl. And then I have a watercolor palette, some paper towels, a tube squeezer, erasers, pencil sharpeners. Up here I have my inks that I've been using for Inktober and all of the brushes that I use most frequently. This is the water jar that I used yesterday, a candle, pretty self-explanatory. All of my favorite pens are right here, just within reach also. These are the palettes I've been using. You saw these in my Instagram video. Sorry for the mess. I haven't cleaned it up. I just bought a vacuum for the tabletop, so haven't used it yet. My pencil case, and then I keep a lot of these trays around just to clean up quickly. This is the art supplies that I'll use frequently, and then when I'm done I'll just dump them all in here and I'll put them away later on. But it keeps my space clean for the next project. Up here I have a power strip that I use for the lights and for a phone charger. This is my little carrying case that I use for my Copic markers and Copic Chow and Copic sketch markers, plus some other random ones. I have a lot of cool stickers on here. Some of them are Fran Nerd and Pony and a couple of other awesome artists. And I keep a roll of blue paper towels right here. Those are the best ones for anything. And then I have some of my other art supplies on the side here. So there are some watercolor papers and some unfinished paintings. I have a pad of sketch paper so I can just grab it and start doodling. And then I have my old Copic markers and Prismacolor markers here. I have this pile of artwork that are pretty much all my Inktober drawings so far. This is one from the other day and some of the ones that you guys have seen already. Yeah, I need to put them away probably. Right here I have this drawer that I keep all of my other watercolor palettes in. So I have my Daniel Smith one and my Finetech one right here, and some other tubes, and then a smaller drawer on top for some tools. Up here there is my Bluetooth speaker. It's amazing and probably one of my most used things in the studio. And I keep a bunch of sketchbooks that I want to try out over here, some notepads. This little crate right here is full of adhesives and matte mediums and a little bit of craft paint, I guess. These little drawers I've had for years, but I keep them full of, there's Sharpies. These are all lead and sharpeners, spare erasers, things like that. This one's full of glue, refills of pens or anything like that, more erasers. And then the bottom one's full of staples and an electric eraser, stuff like that. This is where I keep all the jars for painting. They're kind of dirty right now. I need to go wash them. And I have a clamp-on light right here and an overhead camera mount for doing overhead recordings. I usually hook it up there above the window and record straight down. I'll put a link to this one in the description. Okay, right next to my drawing area, I have a little mini fridge. There's not a lot in there right now, but it's really useful to keep it stocked, and just some random stuff on top. Here's my cart from IKEA that I keep a lot of my other frequently used art supplies and tools, things like razor blades, bigger brushes. I have a thing full of original paintings, my colored pencils, and my box of inks. Up here I pinned up my sketches from my solo show back in May. it's useful to keep them up and help with working on a project. Okay, so this corner of the room is all my storage. I have this easel that's from Dick Blick. I think it was a pretty inexpensive easel. My fan. Let's move this over. Right here I have some paper rolls that I can put up on the wall and draw really large drawings. Up there I have a butcher paper dispenser, some extra frames. This shelf is mostly art supplies, so I have a bunch of my old watercolor palettes here. This is my Faber-Castell box, but I filled it full of gold leaf equipment, so like the gold leafing sheets and the adhesive. And I have this box of my gouache. I think they're my acrylic gouache, my Shinhan Pass watercolor box, and my Mission Gold watercolors here. Right here there are some fixative spray and some gloss. And then this bin is full of my old watercolor palettes, and these are my newer ones. If you can't tell, I have a problem when it comes to watercolor palettes. This is one of my tripods. This shelf right here has all of my drawing surfaces on it. These are the fluid watercolor paper. And there are some cheaper versions of watercolor paper, illustration board, marker paper. Lots of paper. Lots of options. Over here I just have some random stuff, frames. These are my blank wooden canvases. Just a couple random ones. Down here it gets a little messy. This is where I keep my extra paper towels, and this is a little box of some recent artwork that I've bought or that I've done art trades for that I need to either frame or put up or something like that. This thing is full of random stuff too. It's mostly tools like light bulbs and candles, fabric, canvas, random stuff like that. Down here I have this huge crate full of acrylic paint. There's so much of it. A lot of it's house paint, and then most of it's basics, Liquitex, just because it's inexpensive. I don't paint with acrylic a lot, but maybe I should because I have a lot of it here. And then this random thing is also full of some decorations and tools that I can use for craft projects. This wall right here has a bunch of my favorite artwork on it. This one is by Tegan White, Zoe Milk, Helen Jo, Babs Tar, Tom Whalen, and an Adventure Time print from WonderCon. Right here I just have some large pads of paper, another light table, and some bigger wooden canvases. This is my decorative paper rack. I pretty much just use a shoe rack and then drape the paper over it. Most of these papers are from Paper Source. They're really pretty, and I use them for backgrounds for photos and drawings and stuff like that. And down here is the vacuum I just got for cleaning up my workspace and car and stuff like that. Alright, here's the best part of my studio. This is my little altar, I guess. A lot of people ask if I'm a Wiccan or a witch. I'm definitely really interested in it, and I've been reading up and learning about it myself. I wouldn't call myself one yet, but I absolutely love everything about it, so maybe. So let me just start over here. There's a lot of empty jars right now, and I'm working on filling them with memories and things during my travels. I do have a couple that are filled, and I'm really happy about them. This is kind of just a space to hang out and feel happy. Down here I have a birthday book. It's a really cool astrology book that goes very in depth for each day of the year. It's pretty awesome. And then I have an old sketchbook that my brother bought me. I've never used it, and I'm afraid to because it's so nice, but one day I will. And then I have a palmistry book and a psychology book just for fun. A couple of jars, a pumpkin. Right here I have the Golden Thread Tarot card deck, and it's gorgeous. I really love it. I don't really know how to read tarot cards yet. I'm learning slowly, but I think they're really interesting. I'd like to make my own tarot deck one day. Here's a little hand statue that's meant to hold jewelry. This is a small cauldron that I bought. It was on clearance at some store and I love it. It's actually really heavy. Right here I put some of my extra gold leafing in a jar. And there's some matches. This book right here is by Tegan White. It's her zine for her last show and it's gorgeous. This is some test tubes that I bought that I was going to turn into a little propagation thing for my plants. A lot of these are craft projects that I haven't finished yet, so this one is a little bunny salt shaker that I wanted to put twigs in and make into a jackalope. This is a black candle that used to be bigger, but it melted and went all over the place, so I cut it and have that there. I made this little mirror frame out of balsa wood and glue. And then this is a crystal that I got at the White Sand Dunes in New Mexico. These are some dye. I really love the shapes. This is an icosahedron, which is something that I studied in school, and it symbolizes water and a bunch of different things. So the shape really means a lot to me. This is a rock that I got at the Grand Canyon North Rim. So I kept it as a souvenir. One of my favorite candles, citrus sorbet. This is a jewelry box that I got at Goodwill, I think, and I've been meaning to reupholster the insides and put some new hardware on it. As of right now, it's pretty much just holding some of my little gems in bottles there, but I'm really excited to finish this one. I have some dried plants here, some oils. This is a little coat rack hanger thing that I absolutely love. I put a ring on it. This is a print from one of my favorite artists, Stefari. She's super awesome. And this one is from Fran, which I'm sure all of you know her by now. This entire table right here was made by Steven, my boyfriend. He started making furniture just as a hobby, and I love everything he's made. He made this especially for my altar. Down here I keep some boxes that I still need to work on. These are some antique boxes that I wanted to put some art supplies in. Right here is a little bowl full of coins that I've collected. Most of them are important to me, some from my grandpa and some from my travels. These are a couple of boxes that I also want to do some craft projects on. So they're just there for now. This is an old sketchbook of mine that kind of fits all of this that I decorated a long time ago. And here are all my old sketchbooks from probably the last 10 years, I'd say. They're almost like journals to me, so I keep them with me all the time. So that's about it for the studio tour. Right there I have an AC unit and the ceilings are pretty high. Always wanted to hang something up there. So that's about it for the studio. Now I've got to pack all of this up. As if no one knew. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching the studio tour. I know a lot of you have been asking for this for months now, but I hope you enjoyed it. Please check out my shop and the information below on my sale. And I hope this inspired you guys to create your own kind of art space to help motivate yourself. It's really important to have a nice area for that kind of thing. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!